Hello, and thank you for joining us on another episode of Popcorn for Breakfast. With me, as always, your co-host, my co-host, everyone's co-host, everybody's favorite co-host, Kirk.
Hello, and how dare you discount yourself as the other co-host, Cam Wiggs?
Maybe I'm promoting myself to senior host.
Oh, we have a
I'm
battle.
I'm not. We would
We
have to
have a
vote on that.
battle royale. As we know, our
Kirk
audience,
and I are going to cage fight after this for
our
titles.
current stage, every time we put a poll out for our people, it's usually just us two voting on the poll. So it's going to be
That's
a
not
tie.
true. When we voted on Glass Onion versus Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, what to review last week, we got a lot of votes, and
What?
they were all for Glass Onion. It was unanimous.
Wow.
So
okay.
maybe you guys will be dismayed to learn that the subject of this week's review is in fact Guardians of the Galaxy, the Holiday Special.
Oh, let me see here. The latest episode of Popcorn for Breakfast, and oh, you turds! Click. They break their phone and send us the invoice.
I'm sorry. I mean, really, you all collectively, not just people who listen to this podcast, but the film community, you only have yourselves to blame because nobody went to go see anything else. They didn't, Kirk. They didn't go see The Fabelmans. They didn't go see Strange World. They didn't go see, is that what that movie's called? Strange Planet, Strange World?
Strange World.
They didn't go see, I don't know what else came out. The Menu, Violent Night. Violent Night actually did okay. I take that back. Okay. Violent Night did okay. So maybe we should have gone and seen that one. I was a little selfish and went to go see The Fabelmans this weekend because I've been wanting to see it. And my beloved cousin was in town, and it was the perfect opportunity to knock that one out. So got to see it. But either way, we're reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy, the Holiday Special, which I think is going to be good timing. But that episode will drop later this week. For this episode, we're doing what we always do on Monday nights. For those of you who are avid stream viewers, thank you. And that is, we're going to be doing What's Poppin', which is movie and TV news. Tonight, it's going to be all movie news. And in fact, it's not just going to be all movie news. It's going to be all movie trailers. Kirk, what happened this past week with trailers?
There was one singular day, or about
there was
one day, 45 trailers dropped on the same day. It was, not only were there trailers, but there were also featurettes, like the Ant-Man featurette extended legacy trailer. We got more Avatar. We got more everything, new movies that we knew were in the works. It was just absolute insanity.
It's true. And I know exactly what day that was now that you say it, because I was on social media and it was the day of my office holiday party, which means that it was Thursday, December 1st. And the reason I say that is because I had all my posts all scheduled from the trailers that dropped early in the morning. You know, I usually log on, download my trailers, get them scheduled out, whatever. And I was like, sheesh, that was a lot. Okay, good to go. Went to the holiday party in the evening. I get an alert on my phone. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer dropped. I was like, no! Devastated.
Yeah.
Just truly devastated.
It was as if it was a contest. I don't know if it was planned or if it truly was like, oh no, the Indiana Jones trailer dropped. Everyone's on their phones. Drop the next trailer.
Okay, but why? Like, it's the same company. It's different divisions of the same company. I was gonna say, like, do Kevin Feige and Kathleen Kennedy hate each other? Because I'm starting to wonder about this. There seems to be a little bit of sibling rivalry going on between those two studios, and that felt too perfectly timed.
Well, perhaps there's a back pocket deal with Strange World receiving no marketing, that they decided to say, hey, we're just gonna like push this, get some money from the trailers going out and the movie coming in, and we'll give you a couple more million to kind of settle the debts there. Because
yeah. I mean, I think the actual reason was because there was some sort of South American Comic-Con that was going on.
Okay.
Potentially South American. CCXP was going on. And so I don't know how Indiana Jones always seems to factor into Comic-Con. That escapes me. it's really just become NerdCon. Nerd convention is what they should call it.
That's right.
Because they throw everything in there. Transformers as well. I'm sure there are Transformers comics. I'm not familiar with them, but that was the real reason for it. But I know that there was a lot of jockeying for position around Comic-Con because Kathleen Kennedy didn't want Marvel to announce that Harrison Ford was going to be in Thunderbolts on the same day that they were rolling out Indiana Jones footage. So it's gotten very petty over there. But this week, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to talk about is movie trailers. We've got 4 of them that we're going to go through, plus a bonus one that dropped. It's hot off the stove. It's just a quick little teaser for you.
But you have to wait till the end to find out what it is.
That's right. We're gonna bury the lead here. And before we get to that, I do want to send a quick reminder to anybody who is listening to this or watching this of all the places you can reach us. So Monday nights at 9 p.m. Central, you can always catch us on the stream. That's on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. It streams live, and you can catch the replays there. So if you're not available exactly at 9, you can go back, find it on any of those platforms. Our username and our account our account handle, whatever it's called, is Popcorn for Breakfast. Anywhere you look at those, you can also, of course, find us on your favorite podcast app, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, whatever. We're on all of those. And you can find us on social media. If you just want to chat about movies or see what we're posting, we try to post lots of fun things, polls, as Kirk alluded to, as well as just general questions. Today was Walt Disney's birthday. We were talking a little bit about that today. We do lots of fun stuff on there, so you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord.
Yes.
We got the links in the description. You can find us anywhere. So if you are listening, thank you so much. And if you want to pass it along to your friends, we would be greatly appreciative of that.
Yes. Yes. And if you Google hard enough, you'll find where we live too. And
that's right.
Frighten us, but we'll
you
probably
come to our homes and stalk us, harass us, whatever. I mean,
that should be a contest, though. At some point, a rando should be able to come and see a movie with us. I think it'd be pretty fun.
It'd be great. We should be doing that every week. We should be like hiding a movie ticket somewhere in the town. Somebody has to go find it,
like
and then they
Willy
can come see a
Wonka
movie.
golden tickets.
Exactly. Also, Letterboxd. I always forget to plug Letterboxd. Kirk and I have different usernames on Letterboxd. I'll start throwing those into the description too, so all you Letterboxd peeps can find us, because I've been watching your hustle, Kirk. You and I both have been cranking through movies lately at a extremely high clip. Like, it's feeling vaguely competitive to me. Like I'm almost like, okay, what did Kirk watch? Oh, A Monster Calls. Crap. All right, I gotta find something to watch. I'm gonna watch In the Mood for Love, and it's it keeps me on my toes, which I like. So it's good. You can hear and see all of our thoughts on Letterboxd about the movies that we're watching.
I gave up a long time competing with you because there was a period of time you were already on Letterboxd. You said, you got to check it out. I made a username. I left it alone. And then you said, no, you can track your movies. I was like, this is beautiful. And I hopped on and you were watching at least 1, sometimes 2 movies a day. In one
That's
day,
true.
you had logged 4 movies. And I'm like, holy cow, what a great day that must have been.
It was epic. I took a mental health day from work one day and I just watched movies, and it was like movies that were probably bad for my mental health too. So it was like The Witch by Robert Eggers. I was like, what am I doing? I'm just spiraling deeper. But yeah, the early part of the year I was really running through movies, and I feel like I'm back on my game with that right now. Like I feel like I'm back in it.
And so it is really fun because there will be nights. You had texted me recently, actually, and you said, hey, I need a movie recommendation. And the only way I got it is I scrolled back through what I had watched the past 2 months.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, how about this?
That's what's so helpful, because I am so bad under pressure that any time somebody at work's like, oh, you're the movie guy, what should I watch? I'm always like, nah, and I can't think of what it is. But then I have my Letterboxd diary and I can be like, oh, I really like this. I really like this.
Yes.
Can't recommend it enough. But
it's so good.
We're talking about 4 trailers plus a bonus trailer today, Kirk. Let's pop it up. That's the wrong
Do
button.
it again.
No,
play the music. I want the music this time. This week we play the theme.
No, we're
Go!
just gonna play the
No!
Wow, it's been a
Can
long time
both?
since I had a wrong sounder. That was the first time I've done that in a while. Okay.
I personally love the confidence into let's pop it
I
up.
pressed it hard. I said, let's pop it up. Went to smash it. Gone. Okay. Sheesh. That was a doozy. First trailer up. We're gonna do what they say to do in with like bolded lists, like put the good stuff in the middle. You know,
Yeah.
don't put your best point first. So we're gonna start with the trailer that I feel like is probably the least interesting out of all of
Oh,
these,
I
and
know what it is.
it's Transformers, Rise of the Beasts. Is that what it's called? I don't even know the title of this movie. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is.
Transformers, Rise of the Beast. Um, Beasts. That's a hard word to say with
For
plurals.
millions of years.
But Kirk, I have to say, this trailer was interesting to me in a lot of ways. First of all, I felt like I had no idea what they were saying in this trailer. They were like, the earth has been changing and now it still is. It's like, yes, totally. But now it appears that along with our Autobots and Decepticons, the two major, I don't know, species of transforming bots that we have in the world, there are now the beasts. And I remember this, Kirk. Did you ever watch Beast Wars? Transformers Beast Wars, whenever
I did.
that was the show?
I did briefly. Yeah, it wasn't like a regular, but if I would hop in there. Yeah.
And I always thought that was awesome. I always thought Beast Wars was cool because you could kind of see like there were almost like three there were different versions. There was like your transformer as a beast, and then like, their vehicle version. And so I always thought that was really cool as a show. And that's basically what they're doing here. We have new cast members who are arriving in this film, most notably Mr. Anthony Ramos, who is his claim to fame is obviously being a member of the original Broadway cast of Hamilton, as well as the leading role in the In the Heights film adaptation that came out last year. So he's the big, he's the name on the marquee for this film. But other than that, you're getting a lot of what you've sort of come to expect from Transformers movies. Lots of action, perhaps a little bit less stylized than Transformers has been, perhaps in my opinion, in a good way, like not overly stylized, in the way that we sometimes saw with the later Michael Bay Transformers movies, etc. But to me, Kirk, nothing really surprising with this one. Do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, speaking of Michael Bay, it definitely the moment you see any of these, there's like at least twice per cut. You get so much more information every single time before the editor says
Yeah,
cut, slice. Other than that, I'm not interested in this at all. It does look like they are, even though they have humans in it, they are going for more of a narrative from the Autobots. Okay, cool. I'm just not that big of a fan. I did enjoy Transformers 1 with Shia LaBeouf. I really did. And past that, it just failed. But I really did enjoy the first one, even though some people even hate that one.
yeah, it's hard. I think first of all, I feel like this is an extremely hard concept to bring to life on the screen because even more so than most of your sci-fi tentpoles that exist out there, even to things that are comparable like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This, for whatever reason, Transformers has always felt more absurd than that to me, and more absurd than a lot of the stuff that came out of the '90s. And I feel like part of that is the fact that these are like alien robots, and also the fact that they talk the way that they talk. Like I've always thought that Optimus Prime's voice, when you put it in like a real movie, is quite a silly thing, really. He's like, Autobots, let's roll. You know what I mean? And that's cool and all, but maybe it's just the case that Transformers should just be for kids, because I think like a lot of the stuff with Transformers that you think is cool as a kid is kind of only cool when you're a kid. Like it's only cool until stuff starts to make sense. Whereas like other sci-fi action franchises, superheroes and Star Wars and those things have a way to remain cool as you get older because the concepts are a little bit more layered than just like they're cars that transform into fighting robots. I don't know. Like, is that a weird take?
No, no, it's not at all. Because once you add the logic back into it, it takes away the total silliness, the total mysticism of it all. But then they have to have like, on my planet 35,000 years ago. But you're exactly right. The antithesis of here's this deep, super wisdom, incredibly rich voice, and he says, "Let's roll." Like that
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
I guess I just feel that like exactly what you're saying. The deeper they have to go into the lore of
Mhm.
Transformers, it gets more ridiculous. Whereas like with things like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter, where the lore is really well thought out, um, it is it becomes richer as you get deeper into the lore.
Yeah.
Whereas like with Transformers, this is obvious. Transformers as a concept is something that started with some guy being like, or some marketer, somebody at a studio being like, what if there were cars that transformed into fighting robots? And then they worked backwards into it. And you
Right.
kind of have to go the other way. Like you kind of have to be like, okay, so this is Middle Earth, and there are different classes of beings. There are elves and orcs and hobbits, and and then you build from there. Transformers didn't go through that process, is my
Here's
guess.
here's the left hook. Does Haley Steinfeld pop into this as a character, like as a real plot, or does she pop in at the end for a post credit scene? What do you think?
Well, here's the thing: I have no idea because that was the other thing I was going to say is where does this even fall in the continuity, if there even is one,
Mm,
of these movies? Admittedly, I fell off. I think I have seen the first three Transformers movies and the one with Haley Steinfeld, Bumblebee, the spinoff.
okay.
Is that all of them?
I
I feel
think
like there's another one in there.
there's one with Mark Wahlberg,
Right.
right?
That's I have not seen. I don't think I've seen that
Edge
one.
of Extinction, maybe is that one called?
Yes. Or
Or
that was the name
which
of a Survivor season, maybe? I don't know.
it
Um, there's
also just
Transformers, The Last Night. That's the one I did not see. That was
got it.
2017. That's the one with Mark Wahlberg and Anthony Hopkins. Oh, I did see one of the Mark Wahlberg ones. I saw Age of Extinction.
Age. Got it.
So I've seen all but one of these. But I'll be
Big fan.
honest with you. I hated all but the first one in Bumblebee, and I don't know where Bumblebee falls in relation to this.
Yeah.
So I don't. I honestly have no idea where we're at. No idea.
Yeah. We'll find out whenever this premieres. Do we have a premiere date for this yet?
We do. It's June. What did they said at the end of the trailer? June 2023.
There we go. Next
Just
summer.
June 2023. So Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. I'm trying hard not to just like crap on Transformers just for the sake of it being Transformers, but I am really starting to wonder like here's a franchise where just about every single movie in the thing is some version of garbage.
Yeah.
I liked the first one as well. I thought it was fun. It made me excited to have robots driving around turning in or turning into cars and vice versa. It was a good time. And everything after that I really disliked until Bumblebee. And Bumblebee felt altogether different in the way that they approached it. It was almost like a um like Chappie, like that movie.
Oh gosh.
It was like My Friend the Robot, like that was kind of the approach they took with Bumblebee. And that's why it worked because it was almost like a quirky indie film more so than like a giant blockbuster and a tentpole franchise. But now we're back to full blown Transformers, and I'm just like, but why?
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to see it. No
Who
one is
does
allowed to
want it?
vote this to for us to see it. I will not. I will just not go.
You said we were. You just said you said we'll find out when we see it. So you're obviously
Oh,
planning on it.
no.
You're obviously planning on it, Kirk.
I've yet to skip a movie that we've chosen to review, and there
True.
have been a couple of times where I've almost been like, I'm not gonna watch it.
You wanted to exercise your non-existent veto rights.
Yes, we might
We're
need
a,
to develop these.
we're a slave to the people, Kirk. We don't. The podcast has a mind of its own, and it decides what we watch. We don't decide.
I'll
We're
have a
just
video of you dragging me into the theater
we
against my
are but
will.
humble servants to the podcast, Kirk. We
You
do
throw
not
a
choose.
you throw a bag over my head and
We're
hog
going to
tie
see
me.
Rise of the Beasts, Kirk. No time. There's no time for your antics.
Oh no.
Okay, here we go. Next trailer. This one is next least interesting, specifically because this is a trailer number 2. So it's not the initial trailer, and that is the Super Mario Brothers movie. What this trailer does feature is a ton of new stuff, including but not limited to Donkey Kong,
Yes.
Princess Peach, Mario Kart / Rainbow Road, Fire Flowers, Tanuki suits, Yoshis, lots of multicolored Yoshis. I mean, there is a ton going on in here. Plus, I believe that is Cranky Kong in the background
That
there.
was Cranky Kong.
Um,
Shy Guys.
Shy Guys. Lots more world building going on in this trailer, and lots more of Chris Pratt's Mario voice. So, Kirk, with this trailer, which I know we were at my parents' house on Sunday, and both my children and your children were watching this trailer over and over and over and over again. So I know we're painfully familiar with its contents. Um, what's your general takeaway from the new stuff that we see now that we're getting deeper into this? Where are you starting to fall in this movie?
This looks so exciting. There are tons of people that are just like garbage dumping on top of this, and I mean there's Bullet Bill. He's riding on the front of it. Like this is so fun. I don't know. I still don't know if we're going to get a full surprise and we get to the movie and Chris Pratt's voice is nothing like the trailers. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care if that is the real voice or not. I am all in on this movie. It looks absolutely beautiful. It looks like so much fun. It looks like a real adventure. In so many adventure movies that have come out recently, you don't really feel the adventure of them. So I am all in on this. I cannot wait to see this. And I'm not even the as big a Mario fan as you are in this podcast, and I'm super pumped for this.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. I am very pumped for this movie, though I will say, like, there are things that concern me about it, and those things were somewhat heightened by this trailer. The first major
Uh-oh.
concern that I had going into or coming out of the first trailer was that it felt really ambitious, right? Like we have Bowser, we have the Mushroom Kingdom, we have all these different worlds that they're showing. We have um, you know, the I think the whole Mushroom Kingdom world, plus you've got Luigi being chased like into a mansion by a bunch of dry bones. Okay, so that's trailer 1. Then in this trailer, you're adding like the Kongs, you're adding all of the Yoshis. These are like different locations. You're adding Mario Kart, which was a total left hook for me. I didn't expect that at all. Plus, like Fire Peach, Tanuki suits, Cheap Cheeps, like all these different landscapes, all these different textures. And it's like more than you would even stuff into a Mario game. Like it's actually you wouldn't see all of those things side by side in a single Mario game. Like some games do have Tanuki suits, other games don't. Like there is just a lot that they're trying to cover here, and that doesn't mean that they can't, because Mario is a big, vibrant world, and you can probably pretty easily traverse across those things. But it just concerns me with it being Illumination. They have a tendency to go quantity over quality often, and so that gives me pause. But I feel really good about the design of everything. I think everything looks beautiful. It looks great. The voices, I think, are really good. I think Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach sounds incredible. I was like, yes. And admittedly, I'm a huge Anya Taylor-Joy shill, so that is what it is. But the voices sound good. And if you were bumming on the Chris Pratt thing, I think that's fair. But you have to admit he sounded a lot better in this trailer. The Wahoo was totally on point. And when he said "Let's a go," he said it in like a more serious tone.
Right.
I still Kirk, I still think there's something that's going to be like there's a person playing Mario, like Mario has I don't know. I think there's some element there. Do you get what I'm saying? Like there's some sort of element of like
Yeah.
you are a person inside of Mario. You're in this world, you don't know where you're at, because in every trailer they're like explaining to Mario what's going on. Have you noticed
Yes.
that? In
Yes,
both
they are.
trailers they're like, this is the Mushroom Kingdom, head this way, we have to go save whoever, like they're explaining things to him. And I'm like, if he was really Mario as we know him, he knows what's going on. So that's the thing that I'm holding out for. Am I crazy to be holding on to that?
No, it's almost as if, or if he has amnesia or he actually died attempting to
Yes, yes,
win the
yes.
world, and now he's like reincarnated and he's like a baby. Is like, what is happening, right?
And so like everybody's telling him who he is,
Yeah,
and he doesn't remember it. But as the movie goes on, he starts to figure out who he is and kind of turn back more into Mario. I,
that
I
he is a
just
hero. Yeah, that's powerful. That's
I
powerful.
think there's something going on there, and I think that will explain why he was chosen as the voice. But maybe I'm totally wrong. I certainly could be. It could just be that they chose Chris Pratt because he's a big name and he's going to do his best Mario impression. And if that's the case, then it is what it is. Nothing we can do to change it.
Hmm.
But whatever camp you fall in, I feel like you have to be like, hey, this is better than what we heard in the first trailer,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. There's a lot
Yeah.
more. There's a lot more here. It's very exciting all
Yeah.
around.
So the movie comes out in April. I can't say enough about how much I love the aesthetic as a Mario fan. I feel like people have complained about Mario looking a little bit different from the games. He certainly does have a little bit of a different look. Part of that is that we've never really seen Mario have to emote in the ways that Mario would have to in a movie, because he's a
Correct.
video game character, and so his experiences are kind of you know consistent, unilateral. He only does certain things. We don't really see him like get overly intense or scared or whatever. Like you only see 5 emotions from him in the game. So he's always going to look a
Exactly.
little bit different.
We don't get any complex emotions. We don't get any
Yes.
like waves of going from one emotion to the next of like resolved emotion. It really is just like the big five. And here, you're exactly right, Cam. Exactly.
And I think the other characters, you could almost make an argument that some of them are improved designs. Like Peach looks awesome.
Yes.
Peach looks like a real person more so than she has ever looked in the games. And she looks different, but in a good way.
Hmm.
And I'm excited about that. And I thought Donkey Kong looked excellent. I think Luigi looks excellent. I think Bowser looks excellent. Um, can't say enough about that. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping Kirk. Like I will probably end up seeing this movie 5,000 times regardless because my kids are obsessed with Mario. So I just really hope it's good. And I've always wanted a movie like this.
Yep. The only thing that could make this terrible, which they have to fight against it, is the toilet slash bathroom humor. If they can make it the whole movie without it, this movie is automatically an A minus, no matter the content, no matter how the story goes. No toilet humor in an Illumination movie, A minus, easy.
Yeah, that's
The doubt, the
that's a
doubt
bit
you
of a that's a
have.
tall that's a tall order, Kirk. And also, like, the one good thing is the thing that almost always derails an Illumination movie for me, whether it be The Grinch or which I still like, by the way, or Secret Life of Pets, which I really do not like, is there's always one or multiple scenes of like really over the top slapstick antics that just totally kills the suspension of disbelief and takes you out of the world. Um, in Mario, you might be able to get away with that because it's a total wackadoo slapstick world. Like
Yeah.
they might be able to actually swing it.
Because as these worlds, you've known them for
Yes.
40 years or whatever the number is on on Super Mario Brothers, because it's like, yeah, like I've played that level 100 times. Like it's going to be perfect for any side caper that they decide to do. Absolutely.
Yeah, like sometimes Mario does slam into a wall, land on a trampoline, shoot up into a magic vine, and end up in a cloud world. Like that is a
Yeah.
real thing that can happen. And like the thing where the cheap sheep sucks onto his face, like that could totally happen in a Mario game. So
Yes.
I feel like they might not be able to make that mistake here that they typically do. Um, all right, Kirk. So those are the two kind of softball trailers. Now things get intense. Do you want to start with Indy or Guardians? It's a tough choice.
I'm going to go indie.
Indy. Yeah, I'm glad you did because I'm eager to talk about this. So we got a new trailer for Indiana Jones 5, which now has a title, and the title is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And in this trailer, while we have seen minuscule looks at this film over the course of the last year, um, we're now, 7 or 8-ish months away from this thing releasing in theaters, and we're starting to get some real substance. So in this trailer, we get a look at Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who we learn is his goddaughter. Is that right, Kirk? His goddaughter?
That's what I'm picking up. Yeah.
Yeah. And she says something. She says like, "I'm his goddaughter." I think she is what she says. We also get a look at Mads Mikkelsen as the villain. We get a look at Antonio Banderas in this film, who I didn't recognize originally because I'd forgotten that he was in the film,
Yeah.
and he
Same.
looks like so intense and so brooding that I just did not pick up on it. And we get a look at a CGI deepfake de-aged Harrison Ford. So, Kirk, we have a title, we have some plot, we have lots and lots and lots of high octane action sequences. We have the aesthetic. Where are you at? How are you feeling?
It just looks so perfect. All of it, even even him riding against a train on a on a horse, because it's like it's this old and new worlds like colliding and clashing, right? You get the whip at the end. You get all of these guns popping up. Call back to the iconic gunfight, whip fight, right, or knife fight, and it's just so enticing. I want to know what that dial does so badly. I watched this trailer like 40 times when it first premiered, and I said, "Did they say it? Did I miss it? Is it hidden in what they've expressed to us?" And I want to know so badly where he's been hiding it, or did it get stolen? Is Phoebe Waller-Bridge, is she a bad guy? Is she a good guy? I have so many questions, but all good questions. And I'm so glad that we recently went to Disney and I took my son to the Indiana Jones show. I think it amped me up a little bit more. I haven't watched the movies in a long time, and I'm so ready for this. I want it right now.
Yeah, I am definitely excited for the rewatch. I feel like um, an important thing for people to remember who have been kind of passively watching this. This is not Spielberg. This is not Lucas. In terms of who's behind the camera, it's actually James Mangold, who is an incredible director. Ford versus Ferrari, Logan. I mean, so many things. His list of films has so many great films in it, and he has a really good visual eye and can really frame a shot really well.
Yeah.
And in many ways is sort of the perfect Spielberg adjacent, follow up. When they made that selection, you and I were both like, "Ah, yes, good choice. This makes perfect sense." And you can see that in this trailer. It's extremely cinematic. A lot of the shots and the lighting feel very Spielberg. They feel very indie. Um, James Mangold is going to do his homework and make sure it looks right. And from what you can see in the trailer, I feel like I feel way even more confident about that than I did before. Um, I am blown away, like falling out of my chair at the deep fake, the
Yeah.
CGI de-aged Harrison Ford. How good does that look? I am like, we have seen it done well. Mark Hamill in the Mandalorian, we've seen, they did Leia in Rogue One, which that was like the first time where we were like, okay, that actually looks okay. It doesn't look terrible. But compared to this, I mean, come on, this is really, it's perfect. I have zoomed in so closely to it, and I cannot find a flaw.
You know who I would think they must. I'm curious. There is the TikTok deep fake of Tom Cruise. I'm very curious
Yes,
if your boy got a job out of that for this, because that, I mean, it really does. Your boy looks like Tom Cruise. It looks like he's just making videos casually throughout his life and every day. So I do wonder if some of that was sourced out. Did he get hired? Because it really is. It looks as if they have all this extra footage that they filmed that never got into a movie, and they
right.
just planted it here. It's pretty impressive.
Well, they certainly, you know, I'm sure they have tons of B-roll footage, and they have a very well learned AI that has figured this thing out because it
Yeah.
looks absolutely immaculate. So that's very exciting. I Mads Mikkelsen, fits perfectly in this world. You know, you see him in costume and you're just like, yep, perfect.
Oh, he's a Nazi. Good. That's
Yeah,
right there.
that checks out. He's played a role very similar to that on many occasions, and I don't know. It makes me really wonder what their future plans are for Phoebe Waller-Bridge in general. I know James Mangold has come out and said like nobody's replacing Indiana Jones, but doesn't it make you wonder like, and this is all anecdotal. I haven't gone back to check the tapes on this, but like it felt like she had a lot of projects in motion for a while and she canceled a few of them for this film. Like I know she was doing that Mr. and Mrs. Smith show with Donald Glover.
Yeah.
She's no longer attached to that. There was another project I thought that she dropped out of, and yet this is the one that has persisted. I wonder why this is the one that she stayed attached to. Is there something bigger going on here? I have no idea, but it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Either there's something Indiana Jones-esque in the future for her, or just that this gave her the relationship with Disney, which she did not have before.
Sure.
And if they decided, hey, we need you for XYZ, whatever it might be. There's lots of options. That's very, very interesting.
Yeah. But overall, I agree with you. I am not the world's biggest Indiana Jones fan. I'll be the first one to admit it. I've seen all the films. I have enjoyed most of them. And I am a huge fan of Harrison Ford, but like Indiana Jones, just like the subject matter isn't totally my cup of tea, but I enjoy it, and I'm very excited. So I feel like that's a good sign. Like this looks very good, and I'm in the same boat as you. Like I'm ready for it. June 30th, 2023 is when this one comes out. So we're within 7 months of it. Very exciting. All right, let's move over from Lucasfilm to Marvel, and let's go to the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 trailer. This was the one that really ticks me off when they dropped it because we knew that this trailer is the exact trailer that they showed at San Diego Comic-Con because of the descriptions that were coming out from the various reporters who were in the crowd that night. And so knowing that this trailer already existed, it was just like it could drop it any day. And of course it drops at a day and time where I am unavailable to post it and watch it. So that was upsetting. But we finally get a look at what will be the finale for the Guardians of the Galaxy in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a trailer that features their new ship, the Bowie. It features the return of Gamora. It features the new Groot, which we got to look at in the holiday special, which we'll be reviewing later this week. Tons of new worlds and characters. Cosmo the space dog, Adam Warlock, the high. Oh, why am I blanking on Chuck Woody Iwuji's character's name? He's the villain.
Emancipator. Oh, what's his name?
Baby Rocket Raccoon. Just so much happening here. There's obviously going to be a lot focused on Rocket's past and really each character's past as they kind of try to wrap up their character arcs in this film, as I think this will probably be the end of the road for most, if not all of them.
Yeah.
So, Kirk, what are your thoughts on High Evolutionary? Isn't that what his name is?
Yes, it is. That's okay. Exactly right. I just looked it up, and you beat me to the punch.
It's hard for me because I don't think of him in relation to Guardians of the Galaxy. I always think of him in relation to like Scarlet Witch and things like that. But Kirk, we get a ton in this trailer. What sticks out to you?
Oh man, it's just a perfectly crafted trailer. We have familiarity. We have continued character development. Like that's what's been so incredible throughout all of these pieces is that the characters stay true to their core personalities, but we see them grow in small and big ways depending on the character. Like that fight at the end, I mean, I will laugh about that for the rest of my life. That joke that that Drax and then Peter Quill have there at the end about what is this got sad real quick about who they're going to kill when they get onto their battle. It's really it's really quite, again, anticipation from the Indiana Jones trailer, right? This is in the Disney camp. The anticipation of this is so well framed that you cannot escape it. You want to know more. You're not getting everything that's involved in this trailer. I like to compare it to that. I don't even know the name of it, but the Seth Rogen, Charlize Theron movie that came out about they were like in some kind of campaign, but then they fell in love with each other. You saw the whole movie in the 3-minute trailer, and we get these other trailers out there that know what they're doing, and they say, we're going to give you glimpses, reminders, and snippets, breadcrumbs, but you still have no idea what you're in store for. So perfectly well crafted. It's way too far away. It's way, way too far away. And I'm super excited yet fearful for this final episode in the trilogy.
Yeah, I feel you there. I'm very scared and sad about the possibility of losing the Guardians and the inevitability, I should say. Like it's certainly this is the end of the line. Perhaps some of these characters persist beyond this. I think that's probably unlikely. I think they're kind of a package deal, and I think a lot of them are ready to be done with the whole dog and pony show. But it will be extraordinarily sad. The original Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is my favorite Marvel movie of them all. I think this has potential to be the best Marvel trilogy of them all.
Yeah.
I loved Volume 2. I know some people aren't as high on it. I really love it. And they're just like you said, Kirk, like they're going to all the right places in this movie, which shouldn't be a surprise because James Gunn has always known exactly what these characters are going to do and will do, but the stakes feel higher. All the flashbacks and things that they're introducing here, it certainly feels like a very grim circumstance. Like you can feel the tension in the trailer of what is coming for these heroes, and that like whatever fight they're about to get into is their last. So we see lots of visceral emotions from Peter Quill, from Rocket, from Mantis. Um, we see Groot holding like 6 guns and shooting at people, which is something that we don't normally see. Um, there's just a lot going on here. Was really excited to get a look at Will Poulter as Adam Warlock officially. I really like Adam Warlock as a comic book character and a sort of anti-hero of sorts in the comics. His look is different than what you expect when you think of Adam Warlock, but this is sort of his origin. So that shouldn't come as much of a surprise. But I mean, this checks a lot of boxes. I can't think of a much better introductory trailer to this movie. And honestly, like you said, Kirk, so many trailers show you the whole movie these days, and there has always been an element of that. But I'm almost like I don't want to see another trailer for this. Like I like where this is headed, and I've seen enough to not need to be nervous about this being good. I feel like it's in a really good spot.
Yeah. Didn't there used to be only one trailer released for movies long ago?
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Or like a
remember.
teaser. I feel like it used to be like as things evolved, there was like a teaser, which like a real teasers these days are not actually teasers. Like a real teaser
No.
to me is like 30 seconds. It's the Darth Vader breathing thing, like they don't really show you anything. They're just like, hey, this is coming.
Right.
And then a trailer is like actual footage from the film. Like it has to be like 2 minutes long. Like that's a trailer. So I feel like that used to be all there is. Now it's like, teaser, trailer 1, trailer 2, sometimes trailer 3 right before the movie comes out. And then it's like the first clip has been released. The third clip has been released. Like, that's
The
what we're about
first
to go through.
13 minutes have dropped on HBO Max.
Right. Like that's what's going to happen with Avatar here soon because the the first reactions will start to come out for that for people who are at the premieres and stuff like that. And the embargo is going to lift. And I guarantee they're going to be like the first clip from Avatar, The Way of Water has been released. I never watched those because you can see like 10 minutes of the movie in random chunks on Twitter before the movie comes out if you want to, but I just don't really see the point of that.
Agreed. I don't want it. I want to see it when I'm sitting in the theater. I mean, maybe I'll do it with Avatar because who cares? But for most movies, I'm going to sit out on those as well.
Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 actually chronologically might be the first of all of these, with the exception of Mario. Mario comes out in April. This one comes out May 5th. So it's before Transformers, before Indiana Jones. So not too far away. Not too far away. We'll have to see how it goes. I am nervous about saying bye to my old friends, the Guardians. It's gonna be a sad day.
You think
Even
they're
as I was
gonna
watching the holiday special, I was like, "Oh man, we're getting close." Like we're getting close to the end. You can feel it, and it's scary.
are they gonna like Rogue One them all? Like just like roast them
Well,
all on a
no, I
planet?
mean certainly there will be deaths, right? Maybe plural, maybe just one. Like
I think
there
plural.
somebody will die, but almost certainly there will also be characters who kind of desperado right off into the sunset. I hope. I mean, if they kill all of them, that would be quite a turn of events. But I feel like some of these guys are going to come back for Secret Wars. As we kind of hop through the multiverse and find different groups. Like if they're appearing in Phase 4, even if it's the last Guardians movie or this will be Phase 5.
Yeah.
How did they not appear in Secret Wars when you're building the ultimate Avengers team?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Unless
see
they're
how
dead, like Rocket will be. That's my prediction.
he would be eviscerated.
I think Rocket and Drax are the top of the death chart for me. With Quill being the top of the right off into the sunset chart
Oh man.
alongside Mantis.
I think Quill is the secret kill. I think he is
Oh, he's the one they do in.
I think he's the Glenn kill, right? They kill right so they in Walking Dead lore, they kill Abraham and it's like that was brutal. And then all of a sudden they smash one more, right? And I think it's going to be a surprise death for number 2 because obviously Chris Pratt, giant star, has been in Marvel for a very long time. His claim to fame as his A-list superstardom, and I don't think the character of Peter Quill can go on much longer. That's the thing. Like when you look at how it all stacks up, can it go on past
I
whatever
know, but isn't
next
that the
story?
case with most of these guys? Like, I feel like if he's dying, they're all dying because, like, I don't know that there's much of a case for Groot dying. He's already been killed and resurrected once
Yeah,
before, and he doesn't really he doesn't need to die. But like Rocket's arc almost certainly ends in him dying.
yeah,
Drax's same. Nebula, I mean, come on, she might be the one who's most ripe for the picking to be killed. I mean,
yeah.
her arc is well over, and the second that they resolve whatever's going on with Gamora, like it's time for her to go. Um, so yeah, I don't know, man.
Because what did we get in What If? What Peter Quill do we get in What If? Is it Peter Quill or is it Killmonger Quill?
We get a Killmonger Quill. There is a Peter Quill in that he's like
Oh yeah, at the very end they like throw him
he's
out
like
there
a
as like an Easter egg.
sidekick of somebody. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a post credit scene or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the route they're gonna go with the next steps. But I don't see Peter Quill. I don't know. I think he's a secret kill, a
Yeah,
1-2 punch.
I don't hate that theory. I think it could work. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I think it has potential to be quite a sad film.
Yeah,
That's my takeaway. I think we're gonna be crying. So, oh boy. All right, we teased it. We got a bonus trailer today. This one's a real teaser, an actual teaser trailer in more ways than one. The first one is that it's 30 seconds long. So it really is a tease. They show you one shot. I'll throw it up here right now. And you'll find out the reason that it's a real teaser at the end here too. But this is the teaser for those of you who are listening on the podcast, not able to see the video, for Bong Joon-ho, Academy Award winning director of Parasite and Snowpiercer and The Host and many, many other great films. His next film is called Mickey 17, starring Robert Pattinson. Um, and it releases in theaters. This is why it's a teaser. March 29th, 2024. So over a year and a half. Well, it is a year and a half away from now. So yeah, that's a tease. That's a tease. But the movie is surprisingly called Mickey 17. It's based off of a novel called Mickey 7. The novel is actually called Mickey 7. I read it. It's a sci-fi novel. The general premise is that um, Robert Pattinson's character signs up to be in a program where he will be basically cloned for all eternity and is sent off to do hard labor and dangerous labor on new planets so that if he gets killed, they can just print out a new version of him and he can pick
Yeah.
up right where he left off, and it is what it is. And so in the book it's like the general premise, you learn this in the first few chapters of the book, so this isn't a spoiler. Mickey 7 um, dies, so they think, and they upload and try to do another Mickey. Well, he actually had survived and sneaks his way back into where they live, and so now there's like Mickey 7 and Mickey 8, both are alive.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. But
Yeah.
decided to call this one Mickey 17, so I don't know like what that is going to be like.
We're actually going to get 16 Mickeys slash Robert Pattinson's running around, and they've all survived except for the first one. And they're all, then there's a gladiator match. This sounds a lot like Moon with Sam Rockwell.
Yeah,
There's something similar. I wonder if that took took some of its liberties from this source material as well. I'd be interested to go do that IMDb trivia dive.
it's a very recent book. In fact,
Oh.
whenever it was announced that Bong Joon-ho was making a Mickey 7 movie, the book hadn't even been released yet.
Oh.
So I had heard about it, and loving Bong's work, I was like, I got to go read this book, which is not something I always do. And I couldn't even do it. They were like, "Oh yeah, this will be released, in February or whatever." Like it came out this year. And I was like, "What?" So got the audiobook, read it, um, loved it, thought it was really good. So I'm excited to see this. I don't know if the Mickey 17 thing is just like, it could honestly be something as stupid as like he likes the number 17 better. Like it legitimately could be that, or it could be that he wants to be free from the confines of the book in some ways. And so he's like, this is based on that book, but it's not that book.
Hold on. There, I just saw this. Okay. If you're watching with us right now, or if you can pull up the poster or pull up the video, it's called Mickey 17. There are numbers all across his name. Well, there is a one red line across the 7 and 17, and the tiny number next to the red line is actually 18.
Uh-huh.
So, are we seeing Mickey 18 in this teaser? Like there's
Oh, so
that's a
each of those lines is like a tally of a
right.
different Mickey, and it counts up to 18
Yes.
with the red line. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
So it is
Kirk,
Mickey 17. However, there is
super sleuth.
an 18 clear as day right in front of us. So the clues are all here. This is nuts.
I like it. I like it. Either way, like if you haven't read the book or what have you, I would say be excited. I think this looks good. Just quick, there's a quick listen to the score, which we didn't play because we didn't want to get DMCA or whatever. But it's nice little string, intense, stressful music. You get a creepy little zoom in panning shot on Robert Pattinson, who is of course a fantastic actor. So yeah, I'm stoked. Kirk, you feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good about this.
Great. Now
The
just hold on to that feeling for a year and a half,
oh.
because that's when you're going to get to see the movie.
Oh, I'll try. Actually, I'll
Yeah,
probably
good luck with
forget
that.
about this movie entirely until
Until
6
it's like
months
Mickey
before.
17 trailer 1, and it's like this time next year, and we're like, "Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Forgot about that."
I'll be like, it's so far away, even though we'll be 1 year closer to it.
Yeah, I saw somebody tweet, and actually it was randomly, it was a Miami Heat beat reporter, posted this trailer and was like, "There should be a rule that you don't get to release a teaser more than a year in advance of a film." And I was like, "Here, here." Like
Yes.
I can't be expected to be excited for this long. That's just ridiculous.
No, not at all.
It's not fair. It's not fair. But we did it anyway. We showed you the teaser, and now we're going to get out of here. So that is all we've got for What's Poppin' this week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, if you're on the stream, we love you. If you're listening to the podcast, we love you. If you're watching the replay on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, we love you. We really appreciate you guys listening to this and hearing about all these movies that we're very excited about coming out in the next year or the next year and a half. And we will be reviewing a film later this week. It's actually a special presentation once again, and that is Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. So tune in on Thursday to anywhere you get your podcasts or on YouTube, and you will be able to watch it there. But until that time, we are going to say a special thank you to our executive producer, Ryan Spriggs, and his band, Rhetoric. Take a listen to their symphonic, beautiful sounds, the original music, and we will see you guys later this week for our review of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Talk to you then.